All right, welcome to episode 6 of Nerdamouth.
El Seis.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. We are going to talk about two different things today that couldn't be any more different.
Wait a minute, who the hell are you?
I am Mike Lawrence.
Oh my god, you're Mike Lawrence. What a coincidence. I'm Jake Young.
There you go. We got that out of the way.
Manning the ones and twos, of course, producer Marcus Parks.
Yeah, I feel like Balky just met Larry for the first time. I would like to stay in your place.
We are the internet equivalent of Meepos. Let's just agree.
I love that at the beginning of every episode we have to have like previously on so that people know. I'm sad nerd beard guy, and you're also sad nerd beard guy. You know everything you need to about the show. Why the fuck are you still listening? But yeah, so we're going to talk about two different things today. We are going to talk about Marvel vs. Capcom Tres coming out. That's what they call it in the land of Amingo. And we're going to talk about football.
Of course, yeah.
This is the one episode our fathers might listen to.
Are you ready for some football? Because we are not.
Yeah, but we'll have a guest who actually knows what he's talking about, Neil Stasny, a little later in the show. But yeah, let's start out. February 15th, normally known for the highest rate of suicides, and also the day where you really know how lonely you are, and that is perfect for the release of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think they're capitalizing brilliantly. It's like the Saw movies right before Halloween. What? There's no hope? Yeah, we get it, but here, fight.
Growing up as a practicing Jew, I was forbidden from observing Valentine's Day, thus sparing me the heartbreak. However, Marvel vs. Capcom, very important part of any young boy's growing up.
Yeah, I mean when the X-Men Children of the Atom, which kind of started when that came out, it was so awesome because I always loved Capcom's my favorite video game company, and then just seeing a Capcom take on Marvel characters, you're like, this is so awesome. And then when they got to fight each other, it's everything I ever wanted, and that's probably because I never got anything else I ever wanted.
The most brilliant part of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, especially this new one that's coming out, is that it was made for Japanese nerds and American nerds, so each side tried to outdo each other in obscure characters.
Yeah, and by Japanese nerds, he means
Otaku,
there's a... No, he means there's a squid in it. A fucking obscure squid. I hate Shumagorath for the simple fact that I pride myself on knowing all this shit about shit. I'm going to have at least 20 conversations about who the Destroyer is in May, and I savor them. So when I played that game for the first time, Marvel Superheroes, and I was like, what is this thing?
It's a really cheap character, first of all. I think it's forbidden from tournament play. But it's a Lovecraftian creature that was part of that was incorporated into the Doctor Strange mythos. But it is a giant eyeball full of tentacles, and for some reason, Capcom decided to include it in the video game. For some reason, the Japanese developers thought it would be important to add tentacles.
But they did not, what they did not take from Japan was having tons of penises attached to the tentacles. So thank God we were spared that.
That's actually the Xbox version. It's going to have the bonus DLC.
The triple Xbox. Squid porn, fuck yeah. It's slimy and squishy, gonna put a dick in it. Yeah, so I hate the character, yet I wrote a song to him. So I have the roster here, and we're going to just weigh in quickly on them. How about one Marvel and then one Capcom going back to back?
All right.
I'll do it in the order that it is on Wikipedia, which is alphabetical. We've got Captain America.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you remember any of his moves?
Yeah, I heard in this one the shield bounces back. There's a little more give with the shield. I love Final Justice. Great move. Akuma.
Of course. Legendary Street Fighter character, supposedly hidden in Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. Unfortunately, you couldn't actually play as him.
But you could fight him.
You could fight him after wasting maybe thousands of dollars. What if it's basically Venom to Ryu's Spider-Man?
Yeah. No, there's no Ken, though, which is weird. But they have
weird or efficient?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd go Ryu Ken, not Ryu Akuma. That's me. Deadpool, yes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Although, how many days into owning the game will you be sick and tired of the quips?
I will never be sick and tired of the quips. Albert Wesker.
Of course, from the Resident Evil series, the big baddie there.
Yeah, I don't really know him that well.
He has a briefcase and sunglasses and is like, he has zombie powers.
Okay.
But basically just...
It's the powers to sing the song Zombie karaoke and reach the high notes. It's pretty impressive.
What's in your head? The G-Virus.
Nice. Dr. Doom.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a good one. Doom rivals all.
Turns out he wins every round because of a doomsday machine he had made years beforehand.
What's great is when you lose with him, you could just say it was a Doom bot, that you weren't actually trying.
Actually,
like
when you do lose with him, he just blames it on Reed Richards.
Richards! Yeah, his finisher is he goes back to hell to free his mom. Which someday, oh boy.
Technical difficulties.
This
We
is
apologize.
perfect. I'm getting interrupted by my girlfriend. That is the perfect interruption for a nerd show. Shut up, real life. I said I'm done with you. Okay, back to Albert Wesker. Oh, I accidentally answered. I'll talk to her afterwards.
Amaterasu is a character from the Japanese game Okami, which is brilliant. And anyone who hasn't played it, I think it's on the you can get it as like a greatest hits for the Wii. It was also on PS2, but it's actually a Japanese sun god in the form of a wolf that can kill things with a paintbrush.
God, do you get fatter when you say these things?
No, it actually burns calories. It's the only thing keeping me alive. I'll have you know.
Dormammu, yeah.
Oh, okay, yes. Let's. Who cares about Amaterasu? Dormammu, though, that's some serious
Well,
shit.
he's one of the dark ones.
Agamotto, something or other.
Yeah. Well, here's something that bothers me because Shuma's in the game. How can you have two villains of somebody but not have that somebody? Why is Doctor Strange on in the game but you have two of his rogues?
I feel what
Who
fight
never
is,
even fight any of the other characters.
I think it's a struggle to make a Doctor Strange moveset because he would just like meditate.
Yeah, but it's nice. I like it.
Teleport.
Wong does all the fighting for him because he's Asian. Arthur. I like that choice. Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
It's a very interesting choice.
And he wears the underwear. That's a good one.
It's just the hardest game in history.
Yeah, it is. Hulk.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone loves Hulk.
But no Juggernaut. I don't like that. If I had to have one big guy in there, I'd go Juggy.
Juggernaut was more fun.
Yeah. We'll get through this faster if we talk about the ones that aren't in it as well as the ones that are. Chris Redfield.
Another Resident Evil character, Raccoon City Police, Stars Special Forces, brown-haired guy shoots stuff.
Yeah. Iron Man.
Unibeam.
Unibrow. Yeah.
Hey, don't know how to do any combos? Who cares? Use Iron Man.
Yeah. Chun-Li. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Magneto. Got to have a Jew in there. His new finisher is he just shows you his Holocaust tattoo and you cry. Crimson Viper. Newer Street Fighter character from Street Fighter 4. I don't know.
Hey, anytime there's a redheaded with mullets, I'm in.
As long as it keeps someone from masturbating to Cammy, I'm fine with it. MODOK.
That is by far the
Yeah.
weirdest opinion you've actually shared on this show.
Yeah.
That is based on you sharing bizarre opinions.
I mean, look at those legs. They got scars on them. And she's a suicide girl. MODOK. Mechanized organism designed only for killing. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
That made it from a rent to a buy right there. Dante from Devil May Cry.
I never played the games, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, Phoenix. Even when she dies, I'd imagine, because that's all she ever does.
Every time she dies, Cyclops comes in from off screen and just yells, "Gene!"
I always wanted him to be like in a Levi's commercial where he just goes, "Jeans!"
I'm assuming Cyclops is in there, or
No,
is he?
he's not.
Oh, wow.
No Scott. Felicia from Darkstalkers.
Okay.
Yeah, more.
There's going to be a trend. If you want to just get all the Darkstalkers chicks out of the way.
We got Felicia. We got Cienko,
The blue
and,
ghost with the big
Morrigan
claws.
Ainsland.
Vampire Batwing hair. I mean, that's just definitely for the Japanese fanboys. I've never
I
seen
at least
a single.
liked in part 2 they had Anachorus. They had something dark with a penis. It was I liked that there was I like the zombie a lot. I forgot his name.
I remember the Yeti guy was also cool.
Yeah, the Yeti guy was cool. But maybe they didn't put him in there because we just remember him as the Yeti guy. But
Possibly.
you know who Half Naked Bat Chick is. Sentinel.
Like just a giant sentinel?
No, I mean the UPN show from the 90s. No, Sentinel, giant robot. Mutant. Freeze mutant. Yeah, that's Sentinel. I know a lot of people like using them in tournaments and stuff. I'm sure that's why they put them in. We said Sienko. Let's see. She-Hulk.
Ah,
Yeah, I love it.
all right.
I absolutely love. I think that's awesome. Dan Slott did a lot to revive the character, and I'm glad that Marvel thinks enough of her to put her in. And it's hopefully not because the Japanese like big, tall, green girls. It is,
Mike,
isn't it?
hold my hand. You might want to continue to be seated for this. They just like weird green girls.
All right. Damn you, fucking
Her final move is she just uses her law degree to sue you into oblivion.
Jill Valentine.
Wayfish, also SWAT team Resident Evil shoot stuff.
Yeah, who's the guy with the key? The guy at the beginning of Resident Evil. I wish that guy was in it. The fat balding guy who looks like Al Borland.
I do not remember this.
Yeah, someone will, but I love that guy. Spider-Man, yeah, enough said.
Maximum Spider.
I love when he. This one's for JJ. And I hope they keep that in. I love that.
That's the best.
Or maybe he's like maybe some wheat cakes. Mike Hagar, love that choice.
That was one of the
Final
later
Fight.
editions.
Predated Jesse Ventura with the wrestling politicians there. Storm,
Hey, she does good work.
yeah, I know she's a big tournament favorite. Nathan Spencer, he's the new Bionic Commando.
Ah.
I wish they had the old
He'll
one.
hit people with a giant claw hand. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I do. I saw like a trailer today and it was cool, and I hope they do this more. But they had a character interaction moment at the beginning where it was Bionic Commando and Iron Man facing off, and Tony just goes, "All you could afford was the arm." That was pretty awesome. So if they do a lot of those interactions, that'll be fun. Super Skrull.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ryu, yeah, that's gonna be in there.
Shinku Hadouken!
Trish from Devil May Cry.
Whatever.
Thor. I'm glad he's in there.
He crossed the Rainbow Bridge of Asgard.
Yeah.
Booming heavens roar.
Tronbon.
That's an old-timey favorite with her serve bots.
Yeah, but the Serbots aren't in it. But if you had to have one, you might as well
My
get the one that's
favorite
useful.
thing from Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was the serve bot. Like, their strong punch, I think, was just setting a table.
Yeah.
and it did a ton of damage.
Yeah, Wolverine.
Berserker
Yeah.
Barrage.
Beautiful Joe.
That was
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe. Henshin a go-go, baby. That was they're using a lot of these like real. Again, they're appealing to the Japanese otaku nerd fan base of like Capcom games because these were all terrible sellers in America.
Yeah.
Beautiful Joe, Okami.
Yeah.
A lot of even Tronbon was from like Mega Man Legends, which nobody liked on this end of the pool.
Or as it's on there, Mega Man Legends. That always gets a cheap laugh,
Oh, very hackney. This and that.
Riverine. X-23. Hate that choice.
As we discussed throughout the entire,
I know it's a girl with claws.
Yeah. Midriff plus blades
Zero.
plus
We got Zero
angst.
from Mega Man. Trying to rush through these.
Yeah.
Get it?
Rush, oddly enough, not in it.
Yeah. Ruh-roh. He's actually Asian. Ruger Man. But yeah, Zero. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
But there is no Mega Man, which is weird. And then, saving the best for last, a character that I just found out is in it, that you saw me find out was in it.
You actually, this was the only moment I've ever seen you experience sincere joy, was when you read this on your Droid phone.
The Taskmaster is in the game. Holy shit balls, that is the most amazing
Now,
thing
Mike,
I've ever heard.
suppose the casual
That
listener...
makes me forget 2 X's. That's how great that is.
What is the deal with Taskmaster?
Taskmaster has photographic reflexes, supposedly a mutant power that they don't know, but he can mimic the abilities of anybody he sees. Non-superhuman, but any combat abilities. And what's great is in the game, I watched the trailer, when he does moves, when he shoots an arrow, he goes, aim like Hawkeye. And then he hits you with his sword. He goes, sword like Black Knight. Cap shield. It's the coolest thing. I mean, now what they did here, which it makes a lot of sense with him and Super Skrull, instead of having the Fantastic Four, which I really wish they did, and instead of having Hawkeye and Black Knight, which I wish they did, they're like, well, you could have them all in these two guys. It was a smart, economical thing. You get more villains, But yeah, Taskmaster is one of the best villains of all time. And the main reason why is he's really cool because he's all in it for the money. He'll just leave if he knows he's going to lose.
Oh, so you're saying really you're awesome so excited. You think this game is going to take you for a ride.
Don't
take for a ride.
Yeah.
They better bring back the jazz soundtrack.
Yeah, so
and if that is not the interstitial music when we change segment, Marcus, I will come to your house and slap various parts of your body.
Yeah. I think I can make that happen.
All right, so when we come back, Super Bowl 45 is on its way, and we have some points to talk about. Neil Stasny will be joining us. Keep listening to your podhole.
There you go.
Podhole.
Awesome. Hey, what's up? We are back. This Sunday is a Super Bowl. The statutory rapists are going up against the adulterers. So I'm really excited to see. I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't care.
Not even for the commercials, Mike? I just watch it for the commercials.
I love when people say that. It's like, you know what I love? It's not athleticism. It's capitalism. It's the best night of capitalism ever.
There's always one commercial that just gets it super wrong, and that's always fun. Of course, we remember the Tebow anti-abortion ones that just polluted last year.
Yeah.
I'm alive and am a millionaire. Think about it.
Yeah. I mean, we could shoehorn the nerdiness in here and say there'll probably be quick, new trailers of all the comic book movies coming out because there's four of them, and that's cool. But we'll actually talk about a little football. We got an expert, a guy here who knows a lot about football, and Mr. Neil Stasny.
Hey. Neil Stasny, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
He co-hosts his own football-based podcast, Post Game Shower.
Post Game Shower. We all listen to it. It's Saints based, so it has a wide appeal.
I'm sorry, who dat?
Yes, who dat?
No.
Yeah, you nailed it.
That's what I'm asking.
Nailed it.
Who dat?
Oh, it's a rhetorical question.
Oh, I apologize.
It actually has several realistic answers because there's several teams that beat us. But anyway.
That sounds like a parent who couldn't afford the game Guess Who for their kid. Just writes who dat on a sheet of paper. Let's play who dat.
It comes from minstrel shows, I believe.
Oh, good.
But anyway.
Now, here's something I am very excited about. I actually believe, and I've done research, this will have been the geekiest Super Bowl, Super Bowl 45, the geekiest Super Bowl in history. Let me run down some reasons. Number one, no chicks. Neither team have cheerleaders. It's just going to be a huge sausage fest out there.
Some teams don't have cheerleaders?
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that.
Green Bay and Pittsburgh don't have a cheerleading squad, perhaps because it's too cold. It's hard to get your sex on.
Well, they do. Well, they have cold teams that they still wear leggings, but they're in starter jackets.
I guess I don't
see the sweater puppets. Yeah.
I don't mean to sound insulting, but perhaps the cities of Pittsburgh and Green Bay might not actually have enough thin women to field a cheerleading squad.
Yeah, that's probably exactly right.
I'm Jake Young, the last person to make this joke. I should not make that joke.
You're the only one who can. We're misogynistic. It's like that's your brother.
I had no idea. I just learned something new about football.
Number two, both teams have silly accessories and costumes associated with their teams. Pittsburgh, of course, the terrible towel, which is a very, as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, towel, very dorky accessory. And the Cheeseheads, they're cosplaying out there. Very dorky move from both teams, from their fans. And
I love how you looked up this much about football to make it not about football.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
there's,
really
there's no
impressive
actual
to me.
football facts.
no, wait, here's another one.
Yeah, who's in the starting line? Right, they have one of those, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
Lines.
You're talking about players. Here we're going to get to the players. Number 3, both teams has a dude that looks like Thor.
Oh, okay. Clay Matthews, right? For
Clay
the Packers.
Matthews from the Packers and Brett the Diesel Kiesel, the guy with the huge ass beard.
Oh, yeah.
Also dorky, not shaving. Take a look for him during the game. There's some Thor-looking motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
out there.
They're famous guys.
And finally, I feel like the most dorky thing is that the 2 quarterbacks is Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay and Ben Roethlisberger from Pittsburgh. Clearly,
Roethlisberger. Has
a
Homer ever
nerd.
done that?
Well, I don't watch that many new episodes.
Yeah, 'cause you're a fan.
I haven't, so since Roethlisberger's been in the league, I haven't watched many Simpsons, but there's a good chance.
Aaron Rodgers actually had a 3.6 GPA in high school and a 1300 in his SATs. And his you'll like this, Mike. His celebratory dance is known as the championship belt, in which he holds high
I've
and then
heard about
puts
this.
on
Yeah.
a championship belt. So popular this move that Triple H actually has been known to do it during his events,
It's real to me.
as opposed
And you
to
don't
Is
like
this an NWA heavyweight title? Is this like a WWE spinner belt title? Is this
it's
more
a fictional
AWA
championship
style?
belt, but it clearly
Yeah.
means he was Aaron Rodgers is a wrestling fan.
You can't
He
hear
just
me
kind of pretends
growling.
like he just kind of shows it off. He just kind of presents
That's
as
awesome.
if he wore a belt.
And Ben Roethlisberger, of course, while Aaron Rodgers was getting good grades, Ben was doing everyone's mom. Forcibly.
without their consent.
So clearly we got
Berserker Barrage.
a geek versus jock battle, and that's why I believe that the this Super Bowl will have been the dorkiest one ever. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, probably, that makes sense with no cheerleaders or whatever. But like, I love hearing like the commentators talk about the game because like you've got Aaron Rodgers who's like a nice guy by all accounts, and there's a whole thing with Brett Favre or whatever they won't get into. He just seems like a really nice guy, and then every time they talk about Ben Roethlisberger because like he's a serial rapist, like,
Allegedly.
yeah, he's only
That's like a rapist, but you're good at it.
We all have like it's like we
like
all
a
have
really
to pay
good
every once
rapist.
in a while I have to pay women, you know what I mean, because we didn't rape them.
What allegedly is the right word for confirmed, but he didn't get busted, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching the playoff game over at a friend's house, which was just an excuse to do the. We must declare a moratorium on nerds doing the joke where, they've scored the most point this round.
Yeah.
Get it? I don't know what's going on.
Can we also assume that Boomer Esiason will be one of Akuma's moves in Marvel vs. Capcom 3? Boomer Esiason!
What do you think a Boomer Esiason would be? Some kind of like body slam or something?
No, it would be some kind
Would
of
he
beam
shoot a
base.
thing?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
beam base?
Like Sonic Boomer Esiason. I think. Also, Terry Bradshaw looks like a frost giant. I had to get that out there.
Watching the playoff game with the Jets, there was way too many instances where the announcers would just be like, Roethlisberger just penetrating the defenses. They just can't put up any resistance. And we're all just like, ugh.
Well, the announcers feel so bad about complimenting his play and stuff. Like they always preface like if he like runs for like a first down or whatever, like say what you will about him. It's like, but that was a really good play. They're like, we know he's like a monster. Like he raped like a lot of women.
Now,
But he can get he's
He's
good at not getting sacked.
You mean in court or on the field?
All over the place, man. This guy's hard to get down.
Like, what is his defense? Like, so how many people has he allegedly raped?
Only 2.
Oh, well.
And there's a whole bunch of unreported ones or whatever.
Well, they
I
haven't
imagine-
stepped up. That's their fault.
Okay. So anyway, Neil, this is why you brought me on the podcast, to
Yeah.
veer away from these conversations. What are the Vegas odds? Who's liking
If
what?
Jake wasn't in the
I haven't-
podcast, it'd just be called "Rape's Okay" with Mike Lawrence.
I think the Packers are favored by like 2, but I haven't looked. I'm not gambling on this one at all. I don't.
At least not yet.
No. Although this is like, I mean, do you guys hate sports or whatever? One thing that's cool about the Super Bowl is you can gamble on prop bets. Prop bets are like when the Super Bowl comes around, you can gamble on all kinds of weird things. For example, like I forget what the odds are, but you can bet that like Christina Aguilera, who's singing the national anthem, will hold the word brave for more or less than 6.5 cents.
That is
You can
amazing.
put money on that kind of
awesome.
stuff.
You can bet on whether or not they'll ever show footage of the weird Filipino guy from Black Eyed Peas.
I got
You can bet-
$20
I
at the,
guarantee
on that.
there's probably bets on like the set list of Black Eyed Peas. You're gonna do, the order of it. So if you guys want to put some money down, that could be fun. Talk about some bets. Wait, we can't actually look them up, but
Yeah.
Can I bet on the Glee episode afterwards? You think?
I don't know. I don't think Vegas does TV show stuff, but that's not a bad. It's not a bad idea to get into.
I got 2 points on Will Schuster telling those kids how much he believes in them.
I've never seen Glee, but that sounds like good odds.
One nerdy thing that I do know that Vegas put odds on.
Who shot Mr. Burns?
Who shot Mr. Burns?
Did they really? Oh man.
Yeah, they did. They had odds
What
on.
were the Maggie odds?
They were pretty. I think it was like 30-1 or something like that.
Oh man, I would love to find out what the payout on that stuff was.
Yeah.
Well, they had a contest too, right? Like
They
you had
did
to
have a
call
contest.
1-800-COL-ECT or whatever that was.
Well, apparently, did you listen to the? This is getting way off topic.
that's why we're here.
All right, yeah. But in the commentary, the Simpsons thing, they talked about there was a guy who actually guessed right, and there was a contest, so you had to submit who did it and your reasons why. And there was a guy who actually submitted with all the correct reasons, but he submitted through his college email, and by the time the episode aired, he was out of college, and they somehow couldn't track him down.
Wow.
So he actually did win, and for all the right, he figured it out, like the MS thing or whatever.
You mean you didn't think it was Tito Puente? Come on, it's cool. Yeah.
But back to the
Back to football.
Yeah.
Are you ready to keep talking about some football?
Are you ready to feel isolated by a topic that you didn't think would ever happen on a show that you listen to because you're comforted by a world that doesn't understand you?
Well, you guys said that you were going to compare fantasy football to Dungeons
In
and
a minute,
Dragons.
Mom. I'm waiting for the Rice Krispie treats.
Less yappy, more grape aid.
I thought you were going to say more grape ape. Grape ape
No one's
thinks
ever
the
demanded
Packers
more
are
grape
going to
ape.
win.
No one has ever. So the Super Bowl is a lot like the Laugh Olympics, I assume.
I think Squidly Diddly's going to be in Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Fantasy football.
It does. People that do fantasy football, they do brag about how nerdy it is. Does that
Yeah.
bother y'all?
Nah, what's it? It's a blanket. Obsession is obsession. Is escape is escape. I just don't understand. Do people actually playing it actually think, oh, my fantasy team? Do they imagine an actual team, or is it all just numbers, shifting stats?
Well, it's all numbers based. I mean, you can't. You will pick your favorite guys. You know what I mean? If you can put some money on your team, you will. But it is all about winning the $100 or whatever that your friends put in. But there is a certain element of I don't want to pick this guy because he's on the team that I hate. And so there's that debate in your head where it's God damn it, I want this team to lose, but I need that one receiver to get 100 yards.
All right, so you're a big
there's a
Saints-
debate
yeah.
inside.
You're a big Saints fan.
Yes,
who's
yes.
their big rivals?
The Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay,
so when they play, when the Falcons are up or whatever, when the Falcons are playing, you're hoping they lose. So you want them to lose, but you're Roddy White needs to get 84 yards, and the Falcons need to lose. It's a very bizarre. It's almost it's not as bad as betting against your team. No fan I think ever wants to bet against their team because it's such a fucking awful feeling. But it borders on that feeling where you're come on. Dude. Garbage yards. What you hope for is for the team to just be down so much that just throw long bombs the entire time.
I guess the common thread then is D&D or any other RPG game and fantasy football. My dad
Or Final Fantasy football, where you get to punt a chocobo.
I don't know what that means.
Yay! That's why you're here.
Chocobo was the name of one of Roethlisberger's victims.
I don't know.
You added 3 syllables to a name that was already too many syllables.
Roethlisberger. I'm hungry.
It's a horrible name. I actually don't know what. I honestly don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. Because I know there's a 12-sided die. That's really all I know. And I've asked people to explain it to me, and they always kind of go they give me this look of it's going to take a long time. And this you're going to stare at me like a weirdo.
Well, let's do this.
It's you roll dice and you kind of invent a scenario or something.
Here's what I'm going to do. How about this? I'm going to get my clock out, and within Let's go. We go 60 seconds, 90 seconds. We'll explain.
Let's
that.
go 60. Let's keep
All
this.
right.
Let's try
Okay,
this.
we will within 60 seconds.
Oh, we got Marcus keeping time.
Try to as best as we can. I got it. And go.
Starting now. He said stalling.
Now you
Joseph
reset.
Stalling. Going now.
D&D is a system in which you get to use math and stats in order to affect the outcome of a narrative-based game.
Okay.
I want to know what love is.
Mike?
The narrative is supplied already.
Yeah, you make choices, and then the dice help you determine them. Like it's based on your skill and stuff. So let's say I'm a dwarf because I was a dwarf, and I want to lift something, and you say it's a difficulty 15, and I already have 10 strength.
Yeah.
I need to roll that. Let's say I roll a 20
get
side.
a
I need
5?
at least a 5.
Yeah.
A 5 or higher.
Have you ever played a fantasy game with, like, when you were a little kid?
No.
When you were a little kid and so you were playing, like, pew, pew, I got
Oh,
you.
yeah,
and you
okay,
said,
okay.
nuh-uh, I have a shield. So it's kind of just the codification of that so that there are rules. Do you have a shield or not? And it allows people, and if so, once you understand the limits, it makes the make-believe even more immersive.
Okay, yeah, so we hit a minute. That
Dang.
does sound really nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if you got like the pew, but then you had to spend like a day in the infirmary and talking to all the different nurses and stuff, trying to get information on how to defeat the frost giant known as Bradshaw.
That sounds incredibly nerdy. Fantasy football might not be as nerdy as that, but I think what is super nerdy about fantasy football is the obsession with real people and the anger you feel towards an actual human being, and as much and you actually being emotionally invested in this probably 22-year-old who is a millionaire
Who just got out of college.
Yeah, who would hate you?
You know what? It's not as nerdy because I can't walk around in a Spider-Man costume, but you could walk around in an Eli Manning jersey and no one would care.
Oh, but that looks horrible. So, I feel like there was this one time I feel like I broke this little kid's heart. He had like an Emmitt Smith jersey on, and I yelled out like, "Oh my God, everybody, it's Emmitt Smith!" And like this kid hung his head in shame because he looked like he just spent a bunch of money on this jersey. Anyway, that's just
Well,
me
it
making fun of a
depends.
kid. When I was a kid. What's he doing wearing Emmitt Smith jersey in New Orleans?
It's like I could've
Get
dressed
out of
up
here!
as-
Put on a Dalton Hilliard jersey.
I could dress up as the Hulk, but I could dress up as D-Man or a fired animator. You believe me?
Guys, before we go, I just need to make an admission. Everything I know about sports, I actually just learned from Pro Stars, the cable animated series.
It was actually on NBC.
What is Pro Stars?
It was with Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan.
Thus covering
Came on
all
right
other
after
sports.
Macaulay Culkin's Wish Kid. Boom.
And with that,
Yeah, everything I know about sports was covered in the Huey Lewis album Sports. So, Neil, thanks a lot
Hey, no
for coming.
where can we find your podcast?
iTunes. I mean, there's no updates until the Saints aren't they're not playing anymore. But
Can you
but
just come on every week for 30
minutes?
minutes? I really wish they were playing. Man.
Yeah, you can hear commentary about old games.
Oh, boy.
If you really want to hear about that Ravens loss in week 10, you can on iTunes. Look up Post Game Shower. Check it out, you guys, and I'll be back with that next year.
Oh boy.
You got any shows you want to plug coming up?
This
This goes out on Tuesday, by the way.
Oh, okay. This goes out on Tuesday. I don't know. I got shows going on.
So,
Check out my
congratulations
Facebook.
to the Green Bay Packers
Yeah, I think. Yeah, hey, what's up?
or the.
I think the
Pittsburgh
Packers
Steelers.
will win. You guys should make a bet right now and why don't you put $10 to Steelers? You put $10 to the Packers. How about
But
that?
I already said that none of us want
That's how it works.
bet on the
Do
jock.
it. That's how it works. You don't want to get on the rapist? Okay,
no.
that's fine. Bet on the Christina Aguilera.
All right, I think that they're gonna zoom in on her cleavage right as she says "Rockets Red Glare."
I bet that her rendition of the Star Spangled Banner will be just as painful as the movie Burlesque.
That's a good bet.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. Thanks a lot for listening to episode 6. I've been Mike Lawrence.
I've been Jake Young.
We had Marcus Parks and
Yeah.
Neil Stasny.
Thank you all very much for having me on.
Catch you
got
next
it.
time.